So let's say you've done the work. You've identified the part of you that's struggling. You met it with compassion instead of judgment. You listened. You gave it space. You tried to understand what it needed. But nothing's changing. You're still stuck in the same behavior, and it's really starting to hurt your life. So what now? This is a point where a lot of people give up and decide, maybe I am defective. Maybe I can't change. But this is where a real relationship can begin. And not just with that part, but with yourself. Because even when a part of you is scared or stuck, there's still a part of you that's strong, a part that knows how to lead. Even when you feel confused, that part can say, I've got you. You're not alone. You see, the relationship you have with your parts is a real relationship. It needs the same things any healthy relationship needs: patience, trust, boundaries, encouragement, respect. And sometimes change doesn't come from talking. It comes from demonstrating. You don't demand trust or simply ask for it. You build it by doing hard things, even when they're inconvenient or uncomfortable, by keeping your promises to yourself, by showing up. In fact, if you struggle in relationships with others, the best place to start is your relationship with yourself. Ask yourself, how do I talk to myself? Do I respect myself enough to keep my promises to myself? Do I do things that are good for me even when I would rather do something else? The stronger your relationship with yourself, the more naturally everything else begins to shift. This is why oftentimes the change that you're seeking for yourself isn't happening. You have to draw it out through trust, consistency, and love. And this all starts with a choice to believe that change is possible. One of my favorite scenes from the movie Kill Bill is when Uma Thurman's character, her legs totally immobilized, says the simple words, "Wiggle your big toe," starting the chain of reaction or the chain of action that ultimately allowed her to get her revenge. It started with the belief that the smallest action possible was worth taking, which is what starts to rebuild your relationship with yourself. So if you feel stuck, start small. Whatever you're thinking, even smaller than that. Every small action, every time you keep your word to yourself, choose the healthy option. Every time you put your phone down, I want you to visualize that every one of these moments, every tiny act of self-loyalty is a thread that leads you toward who you're becoming. You don't need to be good or feel good to start. You just need to be willing to take one honest step forward. And the strongest part of you, it's not the one that never struggles. It's the part that keeps showing up anyway. If you're ready to take one small step, name it in the comments. That's your thread.